All right, we're here with Robert Drysdale. First of all, congratulations, Robert. You know, you're not the typical 6-0 guy. Obviously, you got a little more weight behind your name than most of those guys. But were you surprised to get the call to the UFC?
I mean, I was surprised it was so soon. I mean, I had spoken to them already. I was more or less, you know, expecting a call down the road, but maybe before the end of the year. But I wasn't expecting a call so soon. And so yeah, it was exciting, certainly.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you obviously you kind of outgrew the LFC, but were you considering maybe the next step would be like a Bellator, World Series of Fighting, something like that? Or
I mean, I spoke to World Series of Fighting. I mean, I was open to whatever. You know, from where I was at, I was really looking forward to signing with the UFC once I wasn't with Legacy anymore, and the opportunity kind of came at the right time, and I was happy about it. Like I was happy with Legacy; they were treating me well. So, I mean, I was open to whatever, but you know, when the UFC comes along and makes you an offer, it's not one of those things you want to say no to.
Right. So you're fighting UFC 163 against Ronaldo Oliveira. Thoughts on him as far as an opponent?
I actually don't know that much about him. I saw a couple of his fights on YouTube. You know, he's fought as a heavyweight mostly, so he's making the cut to 205. He's a lot taller than me. I think he's like 6'6", if I'm not mistaken. So he's a tall guy who have a good range. You know, have a good idea what he's going to try to do. And, you know, I think he probably has a good idea what I'm going to try to do. So I think it's pretty obvious how the fight's going to go. Right. And I just want to, you know, do what I always do.
And having all your fights in Texas, you know, still some people don't know it. You're half Brazilian. Your mother's Brazilian. You live down there. Thoughts of getting out of Texas and actually getting to have a fight down in Brazil? Is any extra meaning, anything special about fighting down there?
It's exciting. You know, it's kind of cool. My UFC debut is going to be in Rio de Janeiro, sort of like the mecca for jiu-jitsu. I have so many jiu-jitsu guys on that card. I think there's like 6 BJJ world champions, 4 Abu Dhabi champions. That doesn't happen very often. You know, so I think that's arguably the biggest jiu-jitsu card in the history of the UFC. And it's an honor to be part of it. Yeah,
you kind of stole my next question. I said there's you, there's Vinny on there, Damien, Yaya, Sergio, someone else I'm forgetting. But yeah, what's it like being on a card? And do you kind of feel a little pressure there to compete with those guys and show them up maybe?
You know what? I mean, I'll definitely make it harder to win a submission of the night. That's not good. That's gonna be just fought for really hard, but. It's you know, it's kind of cool. Like, I've never seen so many jiu-jitsu guys, qualified jiu-jitsu guys on one card, you know. So this last UFC Brazil, we saw so many submissions. I think we can expect even more this 163 card. So I'm really happy to be part of it. It couldn't be better. It's a perfect opportunity.
And you had said before that, I guess about a year ago, you said in an interview that you can compete with anyone at 205, you felt. And then the last time I talked to you, I don't know, about 6 months ago, you said, you know, that's true, but you still consider yourself a blue belt, you know, kind of in MMA. Yeah. So just, you know, saying that, where do you think you're at now at this time as far as, you know, relative to the other guys in your division?
You know, of course, you look at certain guys, you think this is a better matchup than that one. You know, I've been training with a lot of people in the UFC for the last 4 years. You know, I have a good idea of what the level's at. Of course, everyone's different, you know, like every fight is typically different when you're in there. I understand that, but at the same time, I don't feel they're going to be doing anything that I'm not used to. Anything that, oh, this guy's going to be light years ahead of me on this specific field. I don't feel like that. Considering who I've been training with and for as long as I've been training with, I really don't see myself being surprised. I can see myself, you know, I can build guys that are better than me at, you know, certain things, but I don't see myself being surprised with anything. I don't see myself being completely in the situation, oh, what do I do from here? Like, I mean, it could happen, I suppose, but like, I don't feel that's gonna happen. Like, I'm very confident that once I'm in there, I'm able to hang with anyone in the division.
Yeah. Are you surprised, kind of, that, you know, the relative? I don't want to say because you've had easy fights, but the lack of adversity that you've undergone in your 6 fights, or has it surprised you? And is that maybe kind of a detriment to you going forward for, you know, when you maybe get in that situation?
To some extent. Like, I mean, that's one reason why you want to be in the UFC, is to step up the competition. You know, my goal has always been to test myself against the best in the world. You know, that's always been my thing. You know, so I'm excited to look, you know, about fighting some of the best fighters in the world in the UFC, and that's why you want to be in there in the first place. I understand the competition is going to step up, but I feel ready. I feel that, you know, these last few years were a good preparation, and I feel more than ready.
And 2 more quick questions for you. Your buddy Anderson Silva, he said before that you're an idiot. You said he was arrogant. things that all changed there are still kind of the same?
I don't know the guy, to be honest. Like, I don't know where his animosity towards me comes from, to be honest. Like, I don't think about it much. I don't care. I tend to be very opinionated. I tend to tell people what I think, and that upsets a lot of people. The thing is about being half Brazilian, I understand Brazilians really well. You know, this whole thing about hierarchy in Brazil, like in his head, like he ranks above everyone else, and because of that, everyone should be kissing his butt. And I just don't think, my world doesn't function like that. Maybe that's how some people's worlds function. Mine doesn't. Like, you know, you're not better than me because you have UFC belt. I don't see the world like that. So I just don't give him I guess I just wasn't kissing his butt like he was expecting to. He's probably used to that. And I can see that upsetting him, but from where I stand, I couldn't care less how many belts he has or how good he is. I'm not going to respect him more or less because of that.
Now he's fought a couple fights at 205. Is that down the road? I mean, obviously you're worried about your first fight first, but is that something that you'd like to see down the road somewhere?
Fight, man. You know, he's one of the very, very best in the history of the sport. You know, I would fight him. It'd be an honor to fight him. You know, it would be a privilege. I mean, I don't think it's an easy fight, but I can't. You know, if I ever made it to that level and I was offered that fight, it wouldn't be anything personal. I personally hold nothing against him. He's never done anything to me. Right. But I would take it more out of it's an honor to fight someone of his caliber.
Right. And then this last thing, your guy John Jones, you had said before, and this is something that you didn't do, but of course the fans went and ran with, you said in jiu-jitsu you didn't think he'd fare that well in tournaments, and of course people took that for you saying that he sucks as a fighter, which obviously you didn't mean. Yeah. So my question is you know, again, obviously everyone fights for titles. He's the guy in your division right now. How would you like to try jiu-jitsu against him, and how do you think other aspects where he might have an advantage over you? How do you think you're?
Well, I think he's the best in the world in the weight class, man. Like I mean, I'd have to be crazy to put his skills down, and I never did that. You know, like I said in a jiu-jitsu match, I don't think he'd do well at all. And if anyone who's offended by that is delusional. You gotta be out of your mind to be offended by that. I think I'd do well. You know, I mean, I have to, as a fighter, I have to. I understand where I understand perfectly well where he stands and where I stand in the grand scheme of things. I'm not
gonna stand and try to trade with him.
No, I understand. I'm down here at the very bottom of the ladder. He's at the very top of the ladder. I understand that. But as a fighter, I have that sort of confidence, and I have to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I can't be a fighter and go, oh, yeah, I'm never killed by that guy. It doesn't work like that. In my heart, I feel like I can beat anyone. You know, I could go out there and get knocked down in 10 seconds. That could happen. I'm aware of that. But in my heart, I feel like I can do it really well.
Right. Well, before that, like I said, UFC 163, you got Ednaldo Oliveira. Just what can we expect to see from you there?
You know, I think they expect, you know, I've never been in a war in a fight, but I think you can expect a guy that doesn't quit. You know, like I've never quit a day of my life. And again, I understand it's different in a fight. I've never been in a war, so I'm fully aware of that. But, you know, knowing myself, I've never quit a day of my life. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what, like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. That's never happened to me. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know, but it's never happened. So I think that fans can expect someone who'll be fighting the whole time, no matter how hard or what kind of adversity bumps into. I'll be coming forward.
We look forward to it, and we'll see if you get that submission of the night.
Hopefully.
All right, take care. Appreciate it.